Hi, morning. So today's video is, let's give it a good title. Should I DNS a training session? So do not start rather than DNF. So you're all capable of some amazing things, and those who I've worked with for through this year and beyond have done some incredible achievements, have made some incredible achievements. One of the fundamentals when you're considering about adapting training, and a DNS, a did not start on a session for training, is taking it back to first principles. There'll be a lot of emotions going on. Am I slacking? Am I not? The key thing to think about is when you've moved from being an active individual into training, you have a purpose for that training session. Are you going to achieve the purpose of that session? Now, that purpose sits inside a wider set of goals. For some of you, it might be improving pace and performance. So you might have a specific 5K time that you want to improve upon. You might have a half marathon PB. You might have a very specific FTP target that you're shooting for. You might have an extension of a distance. So you might be trying to achieve your first sprint distance. It might be that you're achieving your first Olympic, your first 70.3, your first full distance, your first ultra. So all these are building. It might be that you want to get yourself a certain streak in sessions, a certain amount of consistency, so that you're in a position to take on certain challenges, significant cycles like Land's End John O'Groats, like Peaks Challenge. There are various reasons underneath that transition into being someone who's in training as opposed to someone who's generally active is absolutely crucial, because what it means you can do is look at the sessions and consider, is this going to help you get towards that goal? Is this session, as doing this session, going to help you? Now, there's a couple of reasons why you wouldn't want to do it. The fundamentals, the first principles of training is you apply some stress. Your body then gets biological signals and it adapts and improves. In the short term, it goes down, so that stressing makes you less fit or makes you fatigue in some way. But when your body reacts to it, it overcompensates and takes you to a higher point. This cycle, this wave of stress, adaptation, overcompensation is one you want to repeat so that over time you get to a higher point. There are times when you do not want to do a session. So the purpose of the sessions are not, one, just to flog yourself. Completion of the sessions when you're excessively fatigued is not smart. It's not going to help you go in through that cycle and come out the other side having adapted and being in a stronger place. It will take you down and potentially leave you down or in that hole of overtraining. And if it's applied consistently, you're going to sit in this wave, this trough of coming up a little bit, thrashing yourself, coming up, thrashing yourself. That's not smart. Second time, when you do not want to do a session, is if you have an injury or you think you have an injury or illness. So if you're applying ice, if you're strapping, if you're taking painkillers, if you are having to adapt your form significantly, perhaps in the run, perhaps in the bike, perhaps in the swim, where you're having to make significant compensation, but still trying to do the basics. So if you, for example, injure your shoulder, if we chat about it and we know potentially you can still do turbo sessions, that's fine if we've discussed it. But if, for example, you're starting to feel significant shoulder pain and you're still swimming or you're out running or you're trying to do weights and you're starting to compensate and you start to think, oh, this isn't right, don't do the session, stop. So one of the fundamentals of my coaching style is self-empowerment and knowledge, hence the reason to invest in some of these videos. What we want to do is we want to blend together a classic textbook plan, which is my prediction or my estimate for what could be good for you. So there's that knowledge. And then there's the real life situation of you as an athlete. Working one-to-one with a coach, what we want to do is take these two elements and we blend them together. So I need that feedback from you. I need that understanding so that we can then discuss and adapt. If it's something very acute, very short term, by all means, make your own call as an athlete to say, no, I'm not going to do this session. I'm one of those criteria. I'm injured, I'm ill, or I feel like I'm flogging myself. I'm down too low. There's other videos I've shared with some of you on this whole stress adaptation response. I used the tree behind me with the rope swing. There's other ones that one of my coaching colleagues, Ben, put together, which was about matches and jokers, talking again about when to play matches, when you're burning matches, when to play jokers. All of these are around the same principle. So it's really important. I'm more than happy to constantly find new ways of sharing this message. It's all about adapting so that the stressing you're putting into your body takes you down a little bit, but brings you up higher afterwards. So 2 actions coming away from this, got it in my notes. One action is make sure that if we haven't, you've shared with me your purpose or your goals. So what are those goals that you're looking to achieve into next season generally, and then we can break them into smaller milestone goals along the way. That gives you the fundamentals as to what we're looking to achieve when I'm building plans for you, and as we're starting to make decisions on should you be doing this session, is it going to get you further towards that goal, that objective. And the second one, just double checking my notes. Yes, so it's the feedback one and the self-empowered athlete. So please, please, please make sure you reach out to me if you've got any doubt about your sessions, if you're not sure, if you feel like you're flogging yourself, if you feel like you're generally, it's taking too much to get you out the door, talk to me. Talk to me and we can look at whether it's lack of nutrition, lack of motivation for your goals, if you potentially are carrying some injury, if you're potentially starting to be slightly overtrained, if you're female, if it's some part of a menstrual cycle where your body is reacting to that change in hormone level, and we can look to adapt your training around however personalized we want to make it for you. We can do things to adapt your loading on your training cycle to match what's going to work for the best we can get from your body's adaptation to respond to that. And on the injury side, if you've got niggles or injuries, I'm not a physio, so I can't necessarily help you with the medical side, but we can look to tailor and adapt your sessions so that for the majority of you, bringing back some of the loading so that your body's got a chance to take on board that loading, or you've got the chance to do some alternative work such that any niggles don't turn into some chronic stresses that cause chronic injury. That's what we want to avoid, because if you can bank, you're far better to bank 3 really good sessions that target your purpose than you are to bank 5 half flogged, a little bit naff sessions that are just bumping you along and keeping you in the same place. 3 solid sessions that take you up again, take you up again, far, far more productive. So hopefully that's helpful. It's a message we've talked about in the past. The other one I'm going to do, another session I'm going to do is on mindset, but this one and helping you with some of those mindset goals that lead into the objectives and your purpose. This one's very much about making sure you feel confident that you adapt the sessions, and talk to me about adapting the sessions, because that plan and Training Peaks, it's a prediction, it's an estimate as to what potentially is quite good, but it works best, really only works, when we marry together that plan, that target, with your body and how you're responding. Good, okay, hopefully that's useful. Any feedback on this, just let me know, and chat to me as well in the group one-to-one about your particular circumstances. Okay, thank you.